Hey guys, this is Swagonfly here, and this will be my first episode in a tutorial series on Halo 5 Forge, and we're going to focus mainly on Halo 5 Forge scripting system, as I have noticed that most of the community doesn't really understand how Halo 5's Forge scripting works, but hopefully this video series will definitely assist you guys in getting a better understanding on Halo 5 Forge works, and that way we can go ahead and get your foot in the door to make some crazy awesome maps. So let's go ahead and start with scripting. So what is scripting? So when we talk about scripting, we refer to a piece of code in programming where that is executed upon command. And that really is determined by quite a number of things, a number of settings that you will put in, but more on this later. So let's go ahead and start with something simple. If you are using Halo 5 Forge on PC, you want to press the O key to pull up the object library, and that way we have a number of different categories for the objects we want to use. But for the purposes of this tutorial, we will go ahead and click Extras and go to Scripting, and we're going to go ahead and pull out an object dedicated to scripting. You don't have to use any of these objects to do scripting. You can actually use almost every object available in all of these categories to do your scripting. Some objects won't allow you to, but most of them should be able to do so. So let's go ahead and, for the purposes of this tutorial, use a terminal. And a terminal is an interactive object that you can use to pretty much do quite a number of things. But let's go ahead and press the P key to pull up its object properties, in which we would see the different traits and attributes that this specific object has. But let's go ahead and set it to with this object fixed, so we can go ahead and gently place this on the floor. Now keep in mind, for this type of object, if you see a circle like this around it, it shows pretty much the boundary that the player can use to interact with the object. So if you press the upper left tilde key, you can switch back to human and pretty much interact with this object as you approach this circle. So as you can see, you press the E key, you interact with the terminal, but since nothing is happening because I haven't programmed it to do anything yet, so that's what we're gonna go ahead and do. So let's go ahead and pull up another object, and let's go ahead and use something simple like a block, an 8 by 8 by 8 block, and this is going to be the object we're going to use for scripting purposes. So this is how we do scripting. Let's go ahead and program this block to move upon command once I press this terminal switch. So here's what we're going to do first. We're going to press P key again for object properties, and we're going to scroll all the way to the bottom, which you will always find the scripting settings of the object, and we're going to click Add Script to initiate our first script. And under Script 1, you click this, and this is where things get really interesting. So this type of programming works in an action-oriented manner, meaning it's going to wait for an event to occur in order to do a series of actions you tell it to do. So by this I mean that there's going to be a specific condition that it's going to wait for, and there's a lot of different conditions here that that it can definitely keep an eye on, and then once it meets that condition, it's going to take a series of actions. So let's go ahead and use the interacted condition, which is reserved for interactive items like these. And once you press E to interact, it's going to do something. So let's go back to our script, and once it's interacted, we're going to go ahead and command the block to move. So there's many different ways to do this, but the simplest way to do it is to use the message send action. And don't worry about this, just focus on these two for now. And basically it's going to send a message to the block. Now it's going to do it through a specific channel. We have Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, all the way to Zulu. So the number of messages it can send can be limited to 26. However, different objects can react in different ways once they receive that message. So basically what we're doing is that we're sending a message to this block, and we're going to send it through the Alpha channel. And we're going to go ahead and add a script to this block to respond in kind. And so we're gonna go ahead and give it an event called message received, the alpha channel, which is the message that this terminal is going to be sending it to. And we're going to give it an action. And out of all of these actions, we're going to go to move offset, which commands an object to move. And we're going to leave these two alone for now, since we're going to use the object itself to move itself. Now here you can put the direction where you want the object to move. And here you determine where you want it to move on its axis locally relative to its orientation, or if you want it to move on a global scale where it moves in a general direction of the map. And here it tells you how long it takes to get there. So basically it's gonna move, for example, let's see here. We're gonna command it to move 30 steps ahead on its x-axis, and it's gonna move there within 1 second. In fact, let's change it to 3 seconds. All right, cool. So that's what's gonna happen when it receives the message. All right. So, like we previously discussed, this thing, we programmed it to send a message once it's interacted. This block is going to receive the message and it's going to move that way within 3 seconds. So let's take a look. Just like that. And that's pretty much the ABCs of scripting. That's all you need to know for now in this video. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and this should be our first step in our journey to create wonderful Halo 5 maps and give it the justice that it deserves. So I hope you enjoyed my video, and thank you very much, and have a good day.